This is Serish Mustafa from Karachi Council on Foreign Relations. I welcome you all to Amani Bagh for inauguration of two very important initiatives by Pathfinder Group. So first of all, let's start with Tilawat-e-Quran Pak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah. Please rise for the national anthem of Pakistan. Now I would like to invite Dr. Huma Bukai to the stage. Dr. Huma Bukai is Director of Millennium Institute of Technology and Entrepreneurship, Karachi. She is the Vice Chairperson of Karachi Council on Foreign Relations with a rich academic and professional journey spanning over 25 years. Dr. Bukai has made significant contributors as educator, author, and a scholar. She has 3 books to her credit and also authored more than 40 national and international research articles and book chapters. She has over 20 years of association with electronic and print media. She is also a certified corporate trainer and content developer. Dr. Huma Bukai, please. She is the master of the ceremony today. Next, I would like to invite Chairman of Pathfinder Group, Mr. Zarar Saigal, please, sir. Air Commander Khalid Banuri Sahab, please, sir. Imran Chatala Sahab. Gulmina Bilal, please, ma'am. Chairperson of National Vocational and Technical Training Commission of Pakistan. The first female chairperson. So now the stage is all yours, Dr. Bukai.
So, Assalamu alaikum, very warm welcome and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, innovators, future leaders. I was in this room yesterday, the energy was electric, and today, once again, I see it's the same. We are going to do something today which we'd been working for a while. I know Ikram Saigal Saab, the Pathfinder Group, was working for it. Something I'd suggested, and I'm grateful to Mr. Ikram Saigal for taking it up, making it a part of CITADEL. You know, when you say Ikram Saigal and when you say Pathfinder Group, you also say excellence. So I'm not surprised that that's how it's titled. Let me introduce the Pathfinder Group to you. Most of us just know it as a security entity, but it is just a lot more than that. And it has touched so many lives that you'll be surprised. I'm not going to take very long on that one, but you know, I invited Mr. Ikram Sehgal to an event at my place. And he said, I called his office, of course, and he said, there's a wedding in the family. Ikram Sehgal Saab can't come. And I said, who's getting married in Ikram Sehgal's family? I don't know. Because I consider myself extended family. And then I found out that 2 of his employees are getting married. And he was hosting the event here in Islamabad for them. And this has remained with me. So, a word about Pathfinder Group. Stands as Pakistan's largest provider of integrated security services, employing approximately 12,000 individuals across over 75 cities and towns nationwide. The group's security service division comprises the country's 2 largest private security companies, Security and Management Services Limited, Wakahat Pakistan Limited, expanding beyond security. Pathfinder's financial service divisions also includes Virtual Remittance Gateway, which is going to change the financial landscape of Pakistan, by the way, and iPath Limited with additional related companies currently under incorporation. I don't think this is doing justice to Pathfinder, this introduction that has been given to me, because I know they do a lot more. I know that they do Davos, and they do it privately, and they've been representing Pakistan for decades there. And now it is making ripples, and it is doing for Pakistan what needed to be done for a very long time. Now these 2 centers of excellence that are being introduced will be properly, of course, introduced by Mr. Zarar Sehgal, but I want to tell you something that it's with immense pride and great anticipation that I welcome you all to the official launch of the Pathfinder School of Excellence, CITADEL, the Center for Innovation, Technological Advancement, Digital Entrepreneurship, and Leadership. Today marks more than the unveiling of an academic institution. It marks the launch of an idea, a bold, future-facing initiative rooted in excellence, designed to equip the next generation of Pakistan with skills, mindsets, and vision they need to lead in a digital age. This was all the dialogue on with Generation G yesterday wanted. Every single 22-year-old, 21-year-old, 19-year-old, when they stood up and they spoke, they said, we want the teaching paradigms to get better. We want soft skills to be a part of the curricula. We want the curriculums to be reinvented. We want to understand what AI can do with us and why we are just being taught the theory of it and not the practical of it. This is Pathfinder's contribution to all of that. Citadel has been built on 4 foundational pillars: innovation, technological advancement, digital entrepreneurship, and leadership. I think leadership is critical to the 3 of them, but that's my bias. We envision this space not just as a center of learning, but as a launch pad for ideas, for ventures, and for young minds ready to disrupt and define. The initiative would not have been possible without the vision and leadership of the Pathfinder Group and the tireless efforts of all those working behind the scenes to make this dream a reality. To help us better understand the mission and promise of Citadel, it is now my honor to invite Mr. Zarar Sehgal, Chairman Pathfinder Group, to share a few words on the official inauguration of the Pathfinder School of Excellence.
Thank you, Dr. Bakai, and thank you, everybody. I'd like to, on behalf of the Pathfinder Group and the Sehgal family, I'd like to welcome everybody for a dual inauguration, actually. So Dr. Bakai is right. It's actually inauguration of Citadel, which is how we'll kick off the first half of the program. But equally important is the inauguration of the Pathfinder Interfaith Harmony Initiative, an initiative which is a very close and dear sort of initiative of our family, particularly of my daughter Elena Sehgal, and it's very gratifying to see members of minority faith over here. So I think we'll kick that off at the second part of our program. Thank you for everybody for joining that. I think it's critical to find the the future leaders of tomorrow, and we saw that in the program yesterday for the people who could join, on how much enthusiasm and how much initiative we see. And there was concern obviously expressed, but I think that's what Citadel has been formed to find, really leadership. And I agree with Umad, I've got a bias as well, as far as the leadership is concerned as well. Yes, the digital part is important, obviously innovation, technological part is important. But and it is true, we stand on the brink of a technological innovation, one that is reshaping industries, lives, redefining our daily lives, and obviously possibilities that are being opened up in Pakistan and obviously abroad as well. And I think as we navigate this ever-evolving landscape, what we want to do is we've designed Citadel to take maximum advantage in Pakistan, to take advantage of this landscape. And how we've done this is to find the technological leaders of tomorrow. And these leaders will be not just people who can do everyday tasks, but be true visionaries and be true problem solvers. And we want to find people who will be true catalysts of change. And by doing this, we want to look beyond traditional metrics. And these metrics will be people who exhibit creativity, for example, who look beyond status quo, who not just possess basic technical skills, so who can do basic technological skills, but also have emotional intelligence. So we heard a lot about mental health issues. So I think we can see how emotional intelligence is very important. And I think fundamentally what we're finding out is there is a commitment to ethical practices. So you can see a convergence over here. Convergence with interfaith harmony. This is where religion comes as well. So you can see where technology and religion converges with each other. Where are ethics derived from? A lot of ethics are derived from religious practices. So there is a fundamental link between both Citadel and our interfaith harmony as well. So even though we've kept the two separate, there is a bridge between the two as well. So I think the idea of Citadel is to foster an environment where we nurture these qualities and find an investment in education where there is collaboration between ourselves and the youth of Pakistan, and so create mentorship programs where we truly establish a vision for the future of Pakistan. And that's where Pathfinder Group has always done that. All we're doing this now is doing this in a more formalized setting. We, as the Sehgal family, as the chairman, Ikram Sehgal, has always done that in the past and will continue to do that. We're doing this now in a more formalized setting. Citadel will move this forward, and that is our pledge to Pakistan, and to the youth of Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. This is very nicely put. And now I'm going to invite Air Commodore Khalid Binori Saab. He's the man behind this. He's the man who does the running around, brings all of us here, and is a pillar of strength. So, Khalid, the floor is yours, and the game is yours.
Let the games begin, as they say. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been given this singular honor to open this discussion about CITADEL, the Center for Innovation, Technological Advancement, Digital Entrepreneurs and Leadership. I'm Khalid Banoori. I have spent most of my professional life as a user of cutting-edge technologies, mostly flying fast jets of various vintage, thereby experiencing the evolution of some technologies that were considered truly innovative for their time. Thereafter, I spent 22 years in various facets of strategic planning, and I am currently interested in inspiring the next generations through education and leadership pursuits. Through the force of habit, Allow me the liberty to talk about the citadel as a concept first. By definition, it denotes a fortress, typically situated on a high ground overlooking the city. The citadel then was traditionally the center of gravity of the city hub. The citadel that will be presented to you today is thus not a mere acronym. It has a certain character, an inspiration to become a center of gravity for the futuristic digital Pakistan. The notion of a fortress does not merely depict a safe place, but the fortified intent of its sponsor, the Pathfinder Group, to help the next generations in creating a sustainable ecosystem of innovation and creativity. It aims at breaking out from the chains of stereotyping and becoming the lead in creativity and sustainability. Traditionally, citadels were known for their core of young men and women who lived, trained, and worked under a system that made leadership and character as an essential part of their inspiration, and hence innovation, technological advancement, entrepreneurship, along with leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the extent of the market of the emerging technologies, it suggests a huge potential for the future. It is imperative thus that the Pakistani industry endeavors to get its share. Take artificial intelligence and machine learning, for example. Now, these are popular buzzwords today. Its market is expected to be in the tune of $190 billion or more at this time, and it is continuously growing. For example, the potential in predictive analysis or NLP is significant. The Internet of Things is growing to $1.6 trillion this year. Never mind the US-China TIF, the 5G technologies are expected to fetch $667.9 billion by next year. Blockchain, that has swiftly become a household topic now, is around 39.7 billion potential for the centralized finance, supply chain, and health sector. Robotic process automation, the RPA, leave aside its high infrastructural cost, but is already transforming how businesses operate. And that was around 1.89 billion in the year 2020, expected to grow by 2028 to $13.74 billion. Now, I'm cautious of this, that there could be different ways of looking at it and the market, but the point here is that business is significant and it is growing, and there's potential is growing continuously. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Oxford Dictionary saw citadel as a fort with up to 6 bastions. The citadel that you learn of today has 3 distinct bastions: the career jumpstart, the escape velocity jet, and the strategic innovation. I'm cautious of the fact that my Air Force background seems to be playing a role here in choosing these names, but these are the concepts that are actually telling you that this is the way to go for the future. Citadel perhaps is the first such center that acknowledges that technology-human interface is also a recognized skill that merits leadership training as part of its entrepreneurship. A recent example of human-machine interface is what you saw in the May War that was thrust upon Pakistan, in which technology and leadership and human skills and innovation all played along to bring success to Pakistan. Alongside the need for development of stable economies and needs for innovation and technological advancement are soft skills. The World Economic Forum highlights several soft skills as crucial for future success in the workplace, emphasizing the importance of adaptability, communication, and problem solving in an increasingly complex and technology-driven world. The key soft skills include analytical thinking, creativity, resilience, leadership, and emotional intelligence. To the youth, it aspires to augment skills for employability. To the industry, it endeavors to fill the gap between the academic knowledge and the skill set desired by the manufacturer. It aims for the upskilled aspirant to have a wholesome personality focusing on the leadership desired of the 21st century digital world. Now, these may sound like tall claims. They indeed are. But the design has already been created. What it desires out of leaders like some of you in this audience is the identification of what the future industry needs. And we have come across this a lot. The universities are providing the right kind of education, but when the fresh graduates go to the employers think that they are not ready, they need training, and the employers don't have the time to train them. Citadel aims to fill this kind of a gap and work with others to complete this dream. It aims as a win-win by aiming to collaborate at all levels of the triple helix, the government, the industry, and the academia for the benefit of the total good. Now, I can go on and on, but all good things need to come to an end. So I suffice to end this intervention with a popular line. What do stars do? They shine. What does Pathfinder do? Show everyone interested the path. That's the Pathfinder intent there. Now that was the why question. To see how Citadel intends doing it, let me request the next speaker for his curtain raiser briefing. And I have the pleasure to introduce two of my colleagues. First, the next speaker, Mr. Imran Jatala, who is on the stage already. He's a founder of the National Incubation Center for Aerospace Technologies, NICAT. He's an eminent figure in the global innovation landscape, recognized for his pioneering work in establishing South Asia and Middle East's first aerospace and deep technology incubation center. He's a passionate advocate of innovation. Imran has been instrumental in leading large-scale innovation programs across Pakistan and the MENA region. His leadership has impacted over 25,000 entrepreneurs and university students, guiding more than 700 startup companies to success and facilitating over $10 million in investments in Pakistan. I can go on and on, but let me stop on this introduction. And I also want to introduce another colleague who will be joining us later, Air Commodore retired Farhan Ahmed, the managing partner of Innovation Garage International, who's also previously worked as a senior official at the National Aerospace Science and Technology Park, leading all aerospace initiatives across Pakistan, directly managed all aspects of strategy, human resource, business development, and project management, led over 50 plus projects geared toward development of innovation and startup ecosystems, trained 10,000 entrepreneurs on startup culture, and similarly, I can go on and on this, but let me stop here. Thank you very much for your attention.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. And a very warm welcome to Curtain Raiser for Citadel. This is a school of excellence where we'll be providing three interventions, primarily in terms of skill development, job creation, and economic empowerment. Thank you very much to Vikram Sehgal Sahab. This was his vision that we need to do something for the youth. And it started with an idea to build a center of excellence for Lawrence College, Bury. We designed this project and we presented, and it got approved, and it will be rolled out in due course of time as there is a building required to be constructed. Then Ikram Sahab loved it so much that he said we need to set up one center of excellence or school of excellence in Islamabad as well, so that we can get started as early as possible and we can empower youth. I'm Imran Jatala. I'm one of the co-pilots for Pathfinder Citadel, and I'll be taking you for a boring journey of next 15 minutes, where you have to bear with me for all the details what we're going to do. I'll keep it high level, macro will not jump into micro details, what we're going to do as Pathfinder Citadel. So primarily, I'll be introducing to you what Citadel is, what are the 3 interventions we have designed, and then why it is suited for Pakistan, how it will be done, and why we need to build an innovation economy, why Citadel initiatives like Citadel are required so that we build an innovation economy, an economy of the future. So Pakistan needs 2.5 million jobs annually. This is a UNDP report that till 2035, Pakistan needs to create 2.5 million jobs annually. The graduates we are producing, 30% of the graduates are unemployed. And our population is young, like 70% of the population is under 30. And Pakistan will be a young nation till 2040. So next 15 years are critical for Pakistan. If we have to grow as a nation, this next 15-year window we have to tap. Otherwise, we'll be missing this boat. So this is a crisis situation, if we realize. We are stronger in defense, we need to be a resilient economy as well. And for that, we have designed 3 interventions. Graduate employability, how we can help our graduates that they get placed, either locally or internationally. And second is, how we can create more jobs. And Citadel will be one role model, one template that can be then implemented in other parts of Pakistan. This is first initiative of its kind by a private sector. अभी तक सिर्फ सरकार ही ये काम करती है, जॉब क्रिएशन और इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ ये जनरली प्राइम मिनिस्टर बात कर रहे होते हैं, बिकॉज दिस इज द एजेंडा ऑफ द स्टेट. लेकिन somehow एक ऐसी क्राइसिस सिचुएशन है वेयर प्राइवेट सेक्टर नीड्स टू स्टेप इन, और इकराम साहब ने वो पहला बोल्ड स्टेप लिया है कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर इज जंपिंग इन एंड प्रोवाइडिंग दैट, क्रिएटिंग दैट प्लेटफॉर्म जहां पे जॉब्स क्रिएट हो रही हो और इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ हो रही हो. सो ये 3 हम अचीव कैसे करेंगे? जो स्किल्स का पार्ट है, वी कॉलिंग इट कैरियर जंप स्टार्ट इंस्टीट्यूट, where we are going to provide students with the skills of future so that you employable बन जाए. So we are like a module जो कि let's say graduating semester, about to graduate students और recently graduate students के साथ एक intervention design कर रहा है, जिसमें primarily it has to be market driven, emerging technologies, market driven और leading to placement. और वो जो 90 days course है वो स्टूडेंट को इस काबिल बनाएगा कि वो 90% ऑफ देम गेट्स प्लेस्ड आइदर लोकली और इंटरनेशनली. सो दिस इज कैरियर जंप स्टार्ट इंस्टीट्यूट. नेक्स्ट इज एस्केप वेलोसिटी एक्सेलरेटर. एस्केप वेलोसिटी एविटर्स तो बहुत अच्छी तरह जानते हैं, फॉर रेस्ट ऑफ अस रॉकेट जब निकलता है व्हेन इट लीव्स द एटमॉस्फेयर, वो जो पहली क्रिटिकल वेलोसिटी उसने अचीव करनी होती है जिससे वो ग्रेविटी को बीट कर सके, दैट्स एस्केप वेलोसिटी. और बिजनेस के अंदर भी यही इंपॉर्टेंट क्रिटिकल पॉइंट होता है कि वंस अ बिजनेस टेक्स ऑफ और वो फिर ग्रो करके एक्सेलरेट करके उस स्टेज पे जा सके कि वो $1 मिलियन कंपनीज बन जाए. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू डू. पाकिस्तान में इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स काफी हो चुके हैं. द मिसिंग पार्ट इज एक्सेलरेटर प्रोग्राम्स. सो वी वांट टू बिल्ड एन स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट एक्सेलरेटर जो कि $1 मिलियन का बैरियर क्रॉस करवाए. सो दिस इज एस्केप वेलोसिटी एक्सेलरेशन प्रोग्राम. And finally, we want, since this is a privately funded initiative, so sustainability of this program is designed in this initiative. So in order to achieve sustainability, we are going to offer strategic innovation to corporate sector. और इसमें primarily 2 चीजों पे हम फोकस कर रहे होंगे corporate के साथ, productivity and competitiveness. Productivity is executive development. So every organization needs to increase their वो top line growth को focus कर रहे होते हैं, either through productivity increase हो जाए या competitiveness increase हो जाए. So there will be structured programs offered to corporate to increase their productivity and competitiveness. इसके लिए पूरा एक मास्टर प्लान हमने डिजाइन किया है कि ये तीनों वर्टिकल्स कैसे लॉन्च हो रहे होंगे, इनकी डिटेल्स क्या है, एंड देन हाउ ये तीनों मिलके एक इकोसिस्टम क्रिएट कर रहे होंगे. So career jumpstart graduate employability को एड्रेस कर रहा है. Then accelerator जो है वो jobs creation में contribute कर रहा है. And then innovation जो है वो productivity को और economic growth को एड्रेस कर रहा है. So एक innovation ecosystem is innovation, entrepreneurship and community. And we've started with the community building first. You are our first community members जिनके थ्रू हम ये इनोवेशन इकोसिस्टम बिल्ड कर रहे होंगे. Inclusive environment is a fundamental requirement for any ecosystem to grow, for any economy to grow, and any nation to grow. और जो हमारा दूसरा इनिशिएटिव आ जाए, that's part of Vikram Saab's vision. It has to be an inclusive economy, inclusive society. And then we'll be helping startups, SMEs, MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises, and then working with corporates as well. And then the key pillar of this whole ecosystem is triple helix model of innovation, government, industry and academia. So this is like a 30,000 feet view of what we're going to do. Now we'll jump a little bit into what we're going to do. Career Jumpstart, emerging technologies. AI is the most important technology right now. पाकिस्तान सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट बोर्ड से जो हमारी डिस्कशन हुई, उन्होंने एक बहुत सक्सेसफुल प्रोग्राम रन किया पाशा टेक लिफ्ट के नाम से. इंडस्ट्री और पीसैप ने, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आईटी ने मिल के, दिस वाज 3 years बैक, एंड व्हाट दे से नाउ कि उस वो भी आज इंप्लीमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए, आज उसका एडवांस्ड वर्जन आना चाहिए. सो वी वर्किंग ऑन दैट बिकॉज टेक्नोलॉजी इज इवॉल्विंग वेरी फास्ट. जो टेक्नोलॉजीज अभी नेपटेक इंटरवेंशन कर रहा है या मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आईटी कर रहा है, वो भी इस पे काम कर रहे हैं कि कॉन्टिन्यूसली वी नीड टू हैव एन इम्प्रूवमेंट, और अब ए ड्रिवन टेक्नोलॉजीज जो है उनकी तरफ मूव करें. एंड देन इट हैज टू बी मार्केट ड्रिवन, कि वो ऐसी ट्रेनिंग्स दें एआई के अंदर, क्लाउड के अंदर, डेवलपमेंट के अंदर, जो कि करंटली इंडस्ट्री की नीड है. पाकिस्तान में 95% of the IT industry is services industry. With the evolution of IT or AI, this 95% of Pakistan services industry is in threat. So सबसे पहले तो उनको अपस्किल करने की जरूरत है, so that they survive. And then हमारी कोशिश ये है कि ये जो टैलेंट यहाँ पे ट्रेन हो रहा है वो प्लेस हो, चाहे लोकली या ग्लोबली, बिकॉज प्लेसमेंट से के बगैर ROI पूरा नहीं हो रहा. And then Scale Velocity Accelerator में इट्स एन एक्सेलरेशन प्रोग्राम. इसके अंदर हम थ्रू द वाइडर नेटवर्क ऑफ पाथफाइंडर ग्रोथ एक पूरी इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू चेन बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, जहां पे ये कंपनीज सीरीज ए राउंड रेज करें और $1 million का बैरियर क्रॉस करें. सो वी वांट टू क्रिएट $1 million कंपनीज. एंड देन कॉर्पोरेट्स के साथ कॉर्पोरेट इनोवेशन प्रोग्राम्स जो कि कॉर्पोरेट को हेल्प करें उनकी टॉप लाइन ग्रो करने में. और ये डिजाइन बेस्ड है ऑन अ फ्यूचर फोरसाइट फ्रेमवर्क. सो वी डिड एन एनालिसिस के पाकिस्तान में कौन से मेजर सेक्टर्स हैं इंडस्ट्री के वेयर वी नीड टू पुट दिस इंटरवेंशन. सो वी केम अप विद दिस के आईटी, बैंकिंग, एफएमसीजी और हाईटेक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ये 4-5 इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्टर्स हैं पाकिस्तान के जहां पाकिस्तान ग्रो कर सकता है. इस कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर के लिए हमारी जो कॉर्पोरेट इंटरवेंशन है वो इन्हीं सेक्टर्स के साथ ज्यादा फोकस्ड होगी. So this whole initiative is envisioned and sponsored by Pathfinder Group, and thank you very much, Ikram sir. Pakistan's one of the leading business group and a private business group is taking a leap, coming up with an initiative जो कि पाकिस्तान में jobs create कर रहा होगा और economy को grow कर रहा होगा. अब हम बात कर रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान का पोटेंशियल क्या है. तो पाकिस्तान में रफली We add 4 million people into workforce annually, और कोई educated workforce जो already available है is 8 to 10 million people. पाकिस्तान में अगर हम in terms of opportunities देखें, so we are a very young population, 70% of population is under 30, one of the largest workforce in the world, 70 million की करीब total workforce भी exist करती है. But what's the challenge? The challenge is building business is very difficult in Pakistan. हम हर competitive index पे बहुत low rank करते हैं. जब वो ease of doing business हो, competitive index हो, किसी भी economy में small business is the engine of the growth. 90% of the economy is generally SME sector, MSME sector. वो challenge है हमें कि हम इसको help करें कि small businesses बनाना आसान हो जाए, grow करना आसान हो जाए और $1 million कंपनियां आए. Then पाकिस्तान का हिस्टोरिकली क्या पोटेंशियल रहा है और क्या स्टेट्स ग्रो कर सकते हैं 1 से 2 डेकेड्स के अंदर. Year 1800 subcontinent was 25% of the global GDP. Pakistan is roughly 20% of the subcontinent. So Pakistan's true global potential is 5% of global GDP. So Pakistan should target becoming a $5 trillion economy. Pakistan ka aaj true potential is $5 trillion. We have done that in the past. We can do that again. और दुनिया में एग्जाम्पल्स के कैसे स्टेट्स ने 2 डेकेड्स के अंदर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की है और बहुत अच्छी ग्रोथ बनाई है, उसमें इथियोपिया और इंडोनेशिया 2 एग्जाम्पल्स, दोनों स्टेट्स ने 5x और 9x ग्रोथ अचीव की है इन टर्म्स ऑफ जीडीपी इन जस्ट 2 डेकेड्स. हिस्टोरिकली पाकिस्तान ने सबसे अच्छी ग्रोथ 60s में अचीव की, लेकिन उसके बाद हर डेकेड में वी हैवंट रियली ग्रोन. अगर हम इथियोपिया और इंडोनेशिया से इंस्पिरेशंस लें, स्टेट्स कैन ग्रो एक्सपोनेंशियली इन जस्ट 2 डेकेड्स. और इट स्पेशली 15 years इज अ गोल्डन विंडो अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर पाकिस्तान. और हम कह रहे हैं कि हमने $1 million कंपनियां बनानी है. एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट होता है स्टार्टअप में, वी कॉल इट यूनिकॉर्न, $1 billion कंपनियां. अनफॉर्चुनेटली पाकिस्तान में अभी तक कोई भी इस तरह से $1 billion कंपनी या $1 billion स्टार्टअप नहीं बना. Unicorn was first discovered in Indus Valley civilization. Very symbol unicorn was discovered in Indus Valley civilization. So हमें थोड़ा सा I believe own करना चाहिए. Unicorn is a very own thing. हमें भी unicorns बना दें. Then triple helix model of innovation, government, industry and academia. Every science and technology park, every innovation ecosystem, चाहे वो यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर एक internal ecosystem है, that has to be modeled on triple helix model of innovation, because government, industry और academia तीनों के linkages के बगैर वो effectively technologies, वो research commercialize नहीं हो पाती. पाकिस्तान में बहुत अच्छा concept है और एक office of research, innovation and commercialization, but unfortunately it's stuck at research. Little, but we have moved on innovation, but the commercialization is the missing part. This is what we want to do, कि जो research हो वो applied हो and then it gets commercialized. And then how to build an innovation economy. There are frameworks in the world that exist through which innovation economy is built. So our inspiration is प्राइमरीली हम इन 2-3 लोगों को अपने बोर्ड पे लेके आ रहे हैं जिनके फ्रेमवर्क्स हम पाकिस्तान में इम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहते हैं. कामरान इलायन इज अ पर्शियन अमेरिकन, इज बेस्ड इन यूएस, ही इज बिल्ट 4 unicorns and he advises heads of states on building innovation economy. So he'll be on our advisory board guiding us how Pakistan effectively can build an innovation economy. Then Dr. Olive Groth and Dr. Mark Esposito did a study for European Union. Europe a decade ago was facing a similar challenge like Pakistan. Their population was aging, their economic growth was stagnant. So they came up with a framework how to build startup ecosystem, how to build next Silicon Valley. And Europe has done phenomenal in the last 1 decade in building innovation ecosystems, in building unicorns. Why innovation is important for a country and what it can do for countries. China में 50,000 startups per month बनते हैं. And China now is an $18 trillion economy. And in 2020, they announced that they have eradicated absolute poverty. They've lifted 800 million people out of poverty. They've graduated them into middle class. The fundamental promise of entrepreneurship is producing next middle class. जो World Bank की definition है of the middle class is $4,000, which is roughly Pakistan में people living under $10 a day. अगर आप उनकी 25% income बढ़ा दें, they graduate into middle class. और पाकिस्तान के context में best example अगर मैं कहूँ that's बाइकिया, कि अगर किसी एक बाइकिया का जो राइडर है वो लोअर इनकम टियर से मिडिल क्लास में ग्रेजुएट कर जाता है. So that is technology businesses. That's what Kareems and Ubers can do. They can produce next middle class. And all the more right reasons why we need to do it now. Karnataka state ki population is 64 million. Just to put in perspective, that's roughly the population of 60 million. And they're aiming to be a $1 trillion economy. Hamara bhi national goal is to become a $1 trillion economy by 2030. Pakistan can be much bigger economy. And software is the new oil. Ye comparison बहुत important है कि now this Indian software exports are greater than Saudi oil exports. And AI and software is the future, and oil is on the way to absolute obsolescence. पाकिस्तान इनोवेशन इकोसिस्टम अगर हम मैप करें तो पाकिस्तान में 85 इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स हैं. कोई भी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इंटरवेंशन इस तरह की एक पाकिस्तान में दिस इज फर्स्ट ऑफ इट्स काइंड. साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क्स में अगर हम बात करें तो NASTEP स्टैंड्स आउट. दैट्स बेस्ट इंटरवेंशन. 5 स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क्स बिल्ड अक्रॉस पाकिस्तान. पूरा का पूरा एक इनोवेशन इकोसिस्टम प्रोवाइड करते हैं, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम स्टार्टअप, MSMEs and corporates. और फिर सरकार के बहुत सारे इदारे इसमें इंटरवेंशन कर रहे हैं. मैम गुलमिना आई मिस्ड नैपटेक भी इसके अंदर आता है. और ये एक बहुत कंजर्वेटिव हमारा एस्टिमेशन है कि पाथफाइंडर सिटाडेल इन 5 years क्या करेगा. सो ये सेंटर 5 साल में if done right and successfully inshallah ta'ala will contribute at least $100 million annual wealth creation. इसका जो economic contribution होगा वो $100 million annual से ज़्यादा होगा. My apologies before I show you the team slide. We'll balance it, I promise you, and there will be more women. I promise you we are working on that. So I am one of the co-pilots for this program. This will be led by AVM Asad Ikram Sahab, and then AVM Farhan, Air Commodore Farhan is actually the pilot for this project. Myself and Sir Khalid are the co-pilots. From vision to execution, that's our mission, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, I thought I knew Citadel and I don't. And I learned a lot today. So before I go on to appreciate, that slide of 4 has to have a villain. 200%. It's not moving unless that happens. So that was my first observation. But you know, ये बहुत सारी बातें हम इधर उधर करते हैं, लेकिन इसको एक जगह जमा कर इसको एक स्ट्रैटेजिक डायरेक्शन देना और फिर एक्चुअली पाथवे होना कि इसको कैसे आगे बढ़ाना है, शायद पहली दफा हुआ है. और क्योंकि ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर में हो रहा है, इसलिए मुझे इससे बहुत उम्दा उम्मीद है. मैं बहुत डावोस का हवाला देती हूँ. हम लोग डावोस में थे और उस वक्त शाहिद खाकान अब्बासी साहब प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे. वो तशरीफ लाए वहां पर और उनसे एक ही सवाल उठा. उनसे कहा गया कि जी आप हुकूमत पाकिस्तान कुछ नहीं करती है, प्राइवेट सेक्टर ने डावोस में ये सारी चीज़ की हुई है। और जो लोग some of them are here who've been to Davos, they know what a big show Pathfinder group puts up there. तो उन्होंने एक्चुअली स्टेज पे खड़े होकर कहा, उन्होंने कहा कि आप शुक्र भेजिए ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर के पास है, क्योंकि अगर स्टेट के पास होता तो कोलैप्स हो जाता या इस दौर नहीं हो पाता। He categorically said that and it rings true today. एक दो बातें हैं जो शायद हमें समझने की जरूरत है, और उसमें ये कि 1980 में जो फॉर्मर मैकेंजी का मैनेजिंग पार्टनर था रॉन डैनियल, उसने एक टर्म कॉइन की थी फॉर फ्यूचर ग्रोथ एंड प्रोग्रेस, और वो टर्म जो थी वो थी फैक्ट्री ऑफ लीडर्स। लीडर्स आर नॉट वन और टू, लीडर्स हैव टू बी एवरीवेयर। अगर आपके नीचे दो लोग भी काम कर रहे हैं ना, तो आपके अंदर वो लीडरशिप की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होनी चाहिए जो इस दो लोगों को इतना मोटिवेटेड रखें, इनको सेलिब्रेट करें, एक्सेलरेट करें, दैट को लार्जर इंस्टीट्यूशनल इंटरेस्ट को फोकस कर सकें। CITADEL is not doing this, it's doing many more things. मिडिल क्लास की बात हुई, Indian miracle is about the Indian middle class. Unfortunately, by virtue of statistics in Pakistan, because of very recessive tax culture, the middle class has shrunk. And that has largely happened because you've put the burden of taxation on the salaried class. And that has actually resulted in the shrinkage of the middle class in Pakistan. That is a reality. And then perhaps the number of graduates you're producing and the job market. A report was just shared. Every university, my university has it, should have a mantra, which is let's create job creators rather than job seekers. Let's mentor job creators, because this is what actually CITADEL is geared towards doing. So congratulations once again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I will hand over the stage once again to Mr. Khalid Benori, and he has a lot more people to come and speak to you. Khalid, it's all yours.
Thank you very much for this opportunity again. It's my pleasure to introduce Air Vice Marshal retired Asad Ikram. We will show you a very brief message by him. He is an alumnus of Purdue University, USA, and a fellow of the Royal Aeronautical Society, UK. He's been the commandant of Pakistan Air Force College of Aeronautical Engineering and the founding Director General of Aviation Research, Innovation and Development. Post his retirement from the PAF, he helped set up Jinnah Center for Character and Leadership at the Air Force Academy and the National Incubation Center for Aerospace Technologies, NICAT, in Rawalpindi. He has also served as DG Corporate NASTAP and presently serves as Director General of Innovation and RTC. He is the team lead of CITADEL. And before we play this message, and I note what Huma said about not having a woman on this team, and that was the reason Imran actually gave the apology for before showing you that slide. We are in the process of talking to some experts, including some ladies, to join this team. While this message is played, may I request Mr. Farhan Ahmed to come and also join us on the stage. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. It is my distinct honor to welcome you all to the inaugural event of the Pathfinder CITADEL. Ladies and gentlemen, everything starts with a dream. For it is through our dreams that we envision a brighter future and set the foundation for transformation. All of us can identify nations, communities, companies, families, and individuals who have made it to the top because they dared to dream and think big. The power of a dream combined with dedication can inspire action and create meaningful impact. As we embark on this exciting chapter, I'm reminded of the recipe for success and leadership stated by a national leader, Allama Muhammad Iqbal. सबक फिर पढ़, सदाकत का, अदालत का, शुजात का, लिया जाएगा तुझसे काम, दुनिया की इमामत का. These three essential values, truthfulness, fair play and courage, serve as the guiding principles for leadership in innovation, technology development and entrepreneurship as they do in any other dimension. Our pursuit of excellence at the center is based on these very values. The Sehgal family, especially Ikram Saab, needs to be commended for their courage to think big and put dreams to action for a wider national cause. I encourage everyone present to seize the opportunities ahead, collaborate with us, and aspire towards collective excellence. Together, we can cultivate an environment where ideas flourish freely towards a shared destiny brighter than the sun. Thank you for your presence and commitment. Let us move forward with purpose and vigor, realizing the full potential of this remarkable nation. Pakistan, Paindabad.
That's what I meant. The factory of leaders was that a lot of us were groomed into training other people. A lot of us was groomed into liberal values, market economy, and then we became the multipliers. And it, at the end of the day, helped Pakistan because Gulmina holds a very important position today. She heads the skill center, Gulmina, in KPK, and she's bringing about a change because her groomings were such that she was able to do it in an inclusive fashion. Gulmina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Huma, for the introduction. As you can see, the Germans did a better job of grooming Huma than me. Ikram Saab, aapki ijazat se. Auzubillahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. And a good morning still. It is customary to start by acknowledging and thanking your hosts. But I have never been accused of being a woman who's conventional. So let me not thank my hosts. Let me not acknowledge the august gathering sitting here at the panel. Let me not just customarily acknowledge educationists, the young people, members of parliament, present members of parliament, former members of parliament. Let me not acknowledge development practitioners. Let me not acknowledge the various beautiful colors of Pakistan, just traditionally. Let me stand here before you and acknowledge that as I was listening and I was looking at the presentation here, as I was listening to the Sehgal family's new initiatives, I couldn't help but think, and Ikram Saab, Zararji, other members of the Sehgal family, please accept my apologies, but I could just not help but think, ये Sehgal family ने तो असल में ये सारे initiatives मुझे support करने के लिए किए हैं. Because these are exactly conversations amounting to nothing in our offices. And it is high time that we have a partner, that we have a committed partner, and we have a partner that has a demonstrated ability, demonstrated history, not just of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but of decades of excellence. The National Vocational Technical Training Commission, and I'm going to run this ad very, very quickly, so as to not to bore you, but I see our young future leaders as well as present leaders sitting here. जो नौजवान आप किस स्कूल कॉलेज से आए हैं? Lawrence College से. So you are definitely our leaders of today as well as tomorrow and day after. So मैं थोड़ा सा आपको बताती चलूँ that the National Vocational Technical Training Commission is a federal government regulatory body. Our mandate is to regulate and ensure quality for all vocational education and technical training that happens within the geographical boundaries of Pakistan. We also, because we come under the Prime Minister's office, we are also responsible, regardless of who the Prime Minister is, but NAFTAC is responsible for funding and implementing technical vocational education under the Prime Minister Youth Skill Development Program, under the Prime Minister's Overseas Program, under the Prime Minister's Summer of Code Program, and we have a host of programs. After the 18th Amendment, we have provincial TEVIT partners, affiliate partners, Sindh TEFTA, Punjab TEFTA, Balochistan TEFTA, KP TEFTA. But given the situation of the presence of various resources across the provinces, even today, after the 18th Amendment, 83 to 85% of all technical education and training that is being conducted in Pakistan is funded by NAFTA. Big money, big responsibility, and of course, Behti Ganga mein har koi haath marta. So, big challenges of transparency also. There was a time when at NAFTAC, the idea was, the thinking was, that our mandate is training and that is where it ends. But last year, when I was given the responsibility, and because I had mentors like Imran Masood Sahab, who taught me to actually first read the charter, first read the law, before you actually implement anything. So when I opened the 2011 charter, NAFTAC did not have the mandate to train. NAFTAC had the mandate to produce, sir, market-ready workforce. अच्छा वो मार्केट अब कहाँ है, वो बाजार अब कहाँ है? You know, there was a lot of blank faces in the room. And I remember reaching out to Saigal Saab, who hosted me to an excellent breakfast at his Karachi clubhouse. I said, Saigal Saab, ye to mujhe samajh hi nahi aa rahi, because the industry doesn't want to talk to us, they're not interested. The small and medium enterprises, they're struggling. So here we are with these 500,000 plus institutes, funding them. कोई fake है, कोई नहीं है, कोई student है, नहीं है. I don't know what I got myself into. But ahista, with support of friends and mentors, like a number of you who are present in this room and also at the panel, we started trying to make sense of things. अब innovation की इधर बात हुई है, leadership की ज़रार जी और हुमा साहिबा आप दोनों ने जिक्र किया. How many of you are from Islamabad? Majority of you have come from Islamabad. Up H9 की road पे, there is this university called the National Skills University. I don't know how many of you have seen that university. वो कोई 12 acre पे है. And when I saw, I was thinking, I said, okay, it's a university, so it should come under HEC. But it's called skills, so it should have some connection with us, right? So when I opened their charter, so they were supposed to serve as the research and innovation hub of NAFTAC. So I went with their charter, and I went and I knocked on the door and I said, hello, you know, what are you researching? give me an idea, give me some innovation. उन्होंने कहा, मैडम आप कौन है? मैंने कहा, जी, you're supposed to be my hub. I hope this conversation is not being recorded. And इतने एकड़ों पे, and I said, sir, आप इसके ऊपर ऐसे करें, टमाटर उगा लें, and with that revenue, let's do something. So thank you, Saigal family. Not just Ikram Sahab, not just Zarar Sahab, but I also see the torch being carried on, the young Saigals. Thank you so much for actually implementing and showing what public and private partnership needs to be in leadership, in innovation, in entrepreneurship. And that is what. So your applause is telling me that I was not incorrect in thinking कि ये सारी महफिल मेरे लिए ही सजाई गई है. So Huma is very politely, and I've known Huma for decades. She's going to start now poking me also. So I'm going to close, but I'm going to close with this, that we are now having this conversation. We are initiating this conversation at a time when we have brought in international certifications. So we have Pearson's, we have Highfield, we have City and Guild. Because the problem was that we were churning out. वो factory तो हुमा जी हमारे पास थी, but factory of young people that needed to be need a little bit more polishing. So the ecosystem is now there. Now, with this international certification, we are now confident, and a revision of the curricula. We are now confident that we can actually, जब आप हमारी hand holding करेंगे, तो हम आपको कम से कम हाथ पकड़ाने जोगे हो चुके हैं. अब वो ज़मीन से हमें उठा के अपने साथ शाना बशाना खड़ा करना, वो अब मेरा ख्याल में पाकिस्तान private sector needs to take on that responsibility which it has. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much for एक उर्दू का सफ़र होता है, एक अंग्रेज़ी का सफ़र होता है. मेरी गुफ्तगू ना जाने आपके लिए उर्दू का सफ़र था या अंग्रेज़ी का सफ़र था, लेकिन तशक्कुर.
Thank you, Gulmina. Thank you. You can never beat humor. And at that, you can never beat Gulmina. By the way, also, I don't think any of you know that Gulmina back in the day had also written a book which is called Swimming Against the Tide. Is that right? Yeah. So I was at that launch and I just realized that the woman continues to do that, swimming against the tide. We are going to now open the forum for discussion and conversations. If there are questions about CITADEL that you'd like to ask, the panel is here. But before that, Farhan, you haven't spoken, so perhaps you would like to say something.
As a matter of fact, this is our endeavor is primarily to manifest the dream that, or the vision that been seen by Ikram Sahab, and the same job that we have been seeing or doing in NASTAP, NICAT. There are certain problems that we visualize there, assess there, and by taking that journey or the experience of NICAT, NASTAP, and other organizations, and looking at the industry needs, this is an endeavor to provide skilled force who is ready from day one to take on the responsibilities of the industry or the needs of the industry. And our endeavor is to backtrack our courses from the industry needs, not design our courses with ourselves, but to understand the industry, understand their needs or the needs of 21st century, and then backtrack those to the knowledge or the skill that's required by the jungle. And this is our endeavor. And I am very sure that all industrialists or the budding incubators or the startups would hold their hands, contribute into it, and together we'll travel and pay our contribution to the economy of the country.
I always say that wars are not just fought on conventional fronts. We fought a war on the conventional front and we won it. But real wars are fought on the diplomatic front, on the narrative front, on the economic front, and on the intellectual front. And unless these posts are manned, you will get defeated. So I think there are a couple of posts that are now being taken up by Pathfinder Group to be manned, and Pakistan is getting ready for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open. If you have any questions, I see a hand there. Please. बिलाल साहब हम आपको जानते हैं लेकिन आप इंट्रोड्यूस करा दीजिए.
It's a tone. I'm Ekamodo Mansoor Malik. And I'm the founding DG of the NUS New Campus in H12. And so Imran was my first incubator that we set up way back in 2004. The first technology incubation center in Pakistan. 2010, I retired, and we are now doing voluntary work. We set up the state-of-the-art Pakistan Aerospace Council. We have more than 45 high-tech private sector industrial members in 3 clusters, Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad. So my bottom line to all the strategic planners in Citadel is, I've had 40 years of public service and 15 years of voluntary service. We have to shift the paradigm shift from public-private partnership to private-public partnership. The private sector now requires to be on the steering wheel. I've had several voluntary programs of the public sector, and I've realized the public-private sector is just waste of time. So if Citadel has to succeed, it has to shift the cliche or whatever you call it of a private-public partnership. Thank you.
Thank you for that input. And I tend to agree that with it, a lot of discussion is now happening on, of course, the Chinese growth model. Chinese growth model is very different. It is from the Washington consensus to the Beijing consensus. But the Indian success or Indian economic success model is largely, India struggles with the same kind of problems that we do. There is corruption, there is bureaucracy, there is red tapeism. What has happened is that India has allowed its private sector to grow to a point where the public sector can't restrain it. That is the Indian miracle. I think that needs to happen here in Pakistan. And we need to start respecting the private sector. Right now, we do not give private sector the due respect and do not recognize the contribution it is making to the growth of Pakistan. Yes, we can take more questions.
My name is Adnan. I'm a Catholic priest who just moved to Murray. There is only one Catholic church in Murray, but I'm so grateful to meeting with nice pastors from different churches. It's an honor and privilege for us that we are part of this discussion. Congratulations to you all. Zarar, Segal, Pathfinder group, never heard of. Not because, the only problem is I was not here. I had been studying in so many different countries. I just moved back to the country about a month ago. It's interesting to hear that at least somebody is not only talking, but creating something and taking actions. So the credit goes to the Pathfinder. I also heard that you are creating jobs. That's amazing. I hope, especially living in Pakistan, our younger generation, it's mind-blowing to hear that there are 70% people, a younger generation, below 30. By the way, I'm over 30, okay? I'm not 30 anymore, but it's mind-blowing to see the number. I hope the credit goes to the Pathfinder that you have a goal in the next 5 years. Also create investors. Living here in Pakistan, we have no idea what investor means. We think you have to have a lot of money in order to become investor. We are spending more, making less. So हम ज़्यादा खर्च करते जा रहे हैं, हमारी तनख्वाह कम है. We can never become wealthy, we can become rich by working for next 60 years once we have a job. But we need people who become wealthy, not only rich, who have enough money to pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I hope and pray on this. Maybe next 5 years when I come back and I hear that from the Pathfinder group saying, now we are talking about not only creating the jobs, but creating investors.
You are unicorns, right? Right.
Thank you
Imran,
so
you want
much.
to comment on that? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a great point. Pakistan में some of the challenge really is कि asset class जो established है ना, वो सिर्फ property है. And the second established asset class is gold. इससे आगे आप यहाँ survey कर लें, 99% लोग will not buy anything beyond these two assets. So, हम being part of startup ecosystem, this is what we are working on. कि हम स्टार्टअप को एज एन एसेट क्लास इस्टेब्लिश कर लें और यहाँ बहुत सारे लोग एंजल इन्वेस्टर हम उसे कहते हैं, जो सबसे पहला चेक लिखता है उसको हम एंजल इन्वेस्टर कहते हैं, एंजल इन्वेस्टर बने ताकि वो छोटी टिकट साइज का चेक लिख के दे सके और उससे पहले ज़रूरी है कि वो ये बिलीव कर ले कि ये भी एसेट क्लास है. सो वंस वी इस्टेब्लिश इट एज एन एसेट क्लास और फिर छोटा टिकट शुरू हो जाता है. ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है पाकिस्तान के स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम का, पहला चेक, बिकॉज इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज नहीं है और हम स्टक हैं दो एसेट क्लास पे. होपफुली और ये बिल्डिंग एन इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू चेन डेफिनेटली प्लान का हिस्सा है एंड वील बी वर्किंग ऑन दिस. थैंक यू.
Actually, you know, that's a great thought. बहुत कमाल करते हैं तो प्रॉपर्टी खरीद लेते हैं और फिर खवातीन पैसे जमा करके गोल्ड खरीद लेती हैं. या समझती हैं कि गोल्ड इज एन एसेट, बच्ची को भी गोल्ड दे देते हैं, बच्ची को तालीम दे दें, वो अपना गोल्ड खुद खरीद लेंगे.
Sorry.
I just something totally nothing to do with Citadel, but since Pastor talked about it, and he said he's from the only Catholic church in Murray, I assume St. Denis. Right. Anyway, just wanted to interject for a different reason totally. That it was when the Catholic Church in Murray was attacked. From that day, we started guarding 120 Christian churches across Pakistan on Sundays without absolutely free of cost. Now today, even guard 30 churches free of cost. And our thing was we didn't advertise it for many reasons. We don't want to be attacked just for guarding Christian churches. But the point is that even the Vatican acknowledged the fact that we did that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. एक तो मुबारक हो आपको starting this Citadel. Excellent, thought है और बड़ा ज़बरदस्त idea है. Thank you, Gulmeena. I'm very proud of you. A lot of my colleagues are on the panel. In 1997, I went to Bangladesh. I was sent by the Chief Minister to study the Grameen banking system, microfinancing. I had the honor to meet Dr. Yunus and Mr. Abid. साथ ही साथ BRAC, Bangladesh Rural Advancement Committee, one of the biggest international donor recipient in the world. BRAC ने 80,000 स्कूल खोला बांग्लादेश में, फैंटास्टिक. बैम्बूस में स्कूल बना हुआ था, उसको हमने जाके देखा, एक्सीलेंट. लेकिन एक ये फीलिंग आई कि वो it was such a large network of school के गवर्नमेंट जो थी उससे ज़रा परेशान थी और उसको वो थ्रेट फील कर रही थी, जो मेरी एक फीलिंग थी. Then there was another school system called Park Turk schools in Pakistan. They are spread all over the world. लोग वो अपनी ज़कात डोनेशन देते हैं और वो स्कूल चलाते हैं. तो पाकिस्तान में भी वो पार्क टर्क स्कूल्स बड़े ज़बरदस्त चल रहे थे. तो उर्दगान साहब का फ़ोन आ गया कि इसको बंद कर, बिकॉज उसके वो ऑपोजिशन राइवल्स थे. This huge network was stopped.
और वो लोग बेचारे कोर्ट में भी गए वगैरह वगैरह। तो माय टेक ऑन दिस फिलॉसफी ये है कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर जो है वो बड़ा ज़बरदस्त एंटरप्रेन्योर्स होते हैं, वो ग्रो करते हैं। पिछले 30 साल में प्राइवेट सेक्टर पाकिस्तान में बहुत ग्रो किया, स्कूल्स में, यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में। गवर्नमेंट जो है इसको हमेशा थ्रेट लेती है कि ये कहाँ से ये लोग आ गए। उसके लिए वो रेगुलेशन, मॉनिटरिंग, रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज बनती हैं, टैक्सेस लगते हैं। तो फॉर गॉड सेक सिटाडेल को आप गवर्नमेंट से दूर रखें, आप प्राइवेट सेक्टर में इसको रहने दें। ये मेरा बहुत बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है, मैं गवर्नमेंट का बंदा रहा हूँ कई सालों में। गवर्नमेंट की अपनी बड़ी अजीब सी सोच होती है। I don't know why don't they like somebody to grow. तो आपकी इतनी माशाल्लाह अच्छी ग्रोथ है, पाथफाइंडर की आपका जबरदस्त नेटवर्क है। तो इस सिटाडेल को जो रियल बेस्टन होगा सिटाडेल होगा। और गुलमीना, अगर आप इनसे पार्टनरशिप करेंगी और आप अगर पाकिस्तान का एक्सचेकर या गवर्नमेंट का पैसा आप लगाएंगी इसके अंदर पार्टनरशिप के जरिए, आपकी अकाउंटेबिलिटी जो शुरू हो जाएगी। आपकी नहीं बल्कि इनकी शुरू हो जाएगी, क्योंकि ये पब्लिक का पैसा जिस इदारे में गया वो इदारे का अल्लाह ही हाफिज है मेरा। बिकॉज मैंने ये देखा है, आई हैव सीन दिस। सो इट्स अ वेरी वंडरफुल पाथवे। जटाला साहब, एक्सीलेंट प्रेजेंटेशन, इसको आप कायम रखें। और वी एज अ प्राइवेट सेक्टर वी विल सपोर्ट दिस प्रोग्राम इंशाल्लाह ताला। वी विल पार्टनर विद यू। हम लोग भी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पढ़ाते हैं, प्रैक्टिकली बच्चों को हम कंपनियां इस्टेब्लिश करवाते हैं, उनको डिजिटल मार्केटिंग सिखाते हैं, हाउ टू ओपन अप योर कंपनी, हाउ टू अर्न इन डॉलर्स। हम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बहुत बड़ा काम करते हैं, मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी जो कहती है। सो लेट्स जॉइन हैंड्स, लेट्स डू प्राइवेट प्राइवेट, लेट्स फॉरगेट अबाउट पब्लिक प्राइवेट। थैंक यू।
I'm not sure.
I just, my son gave me a gift for my birthday, a huge volume of the book that I grew up on when I left the army. The book was called Atlas Shrugged. It was written by Ayn Rand. I have a copy of this in this house, a huge copy. And it says, do nothing with government. Today, Imran Sahib, we don't have a single contract with government. We don't do anything with government. And I stop people whenever they come and they query things. I said, please don't do it. It is not out of any this thing, but we know where it's going to lead, what's going to end up. With Gulmeena, it was a little different when she came and all that, because at the end of the day, it was not working with government. The target was the same. The target was our plumber who went to UAE without certification got 10 dirhams an hour, whereas the same plumber from Tamil Nadu who had certified was getting 40 dirhams an hour. The Tamil Nadu plumber did not know anything, but he was supervising our plumber who knew everything at how they go. So that was the reason we said, okay, fine, let's help them get certification. That much we will do. So wherever we will do that, we'll only do that only, but we will not take any funding from them. We just help them wherever we can.
Like I said, I've never been accused of being conventional. So let me very quickly. I think the public-private contract and the public-private relationship needs to be rethought of. And I completely agree with Imran Sahab. I completely agree with Ikram Sahab. But at the same time, let us also remind ourselves that the public representatives and the public bricks and mortars are actually also being funded by our money. So I feel that the private sector are actually I joke with my bureaucratic colleagues, who of course they don't like this, but I said, bahar awam hamari customer hai. The customer is always right. So we get these complaints over emails, and at NAFTAC my colleague says, "Madam, ये तो रोज आती हैं, अब रोज email देखेंगी." मैंने कहा, हाँ, रोज ही email देखी जाती है ना, obviously. So this mindset has to be rethought of, and it can only be, and this is me being very utopian, but I feel that this mindset can only be rethought of when you introduce in the ecosystem credible partners like the Pathfinder, जिसपे एक उंगली एक मिली सेकेंड के लिए भी आप नहीं उठा सकते. So then no one is going to sort of say कि यार ये क्यों आए हैं या ये है. So such credible institutes, and यही मेरी कोशिश रही है with this international certification also on the advice of Ikram साहब. जब मैं international certification लेकर आई तो वो भी विली निली इस तरह के उनसे नहीं लेकर आई जो कि franchises पाकिस्तान में चला रहे थे. I went right to the source and sort of got certification from that. अच्छा ये तो खैर public private पे हो गई. दो और जुमले. Entrepreneurship. सबसे पहले तो आप अगर हम public private partnership की हम बात कर रहे हैं, बुनियादी बात, public sector में, to my horror and to my dismay, people don't understand what entrepreneurship is. I have been trying to launch the TEVIT Entrepreneur, for which we have a budget for the last 3 years. पैसे पड़े हुए हैं, हमारी budget line है. And my team tells me, madam, ये तो समीडा वालों के काम है, हमने तो इधर ये दुकानें नहीं खोल के देनी है. So this दुकानें खोल के देना mindset, और ये हमारा काम है या नहीं. सबसे पहले तो हमें educate करें कि entrepreneurship और startups होते क्या हैं. बुनियादी knowledge partners also.
Please carry this over to. I will request Zarar to give the final word.
I just wanted to, on behalf of, again, the Pathfinder group, I wanted to thank all our speakers. Please, a round of applause for everybody. I just wanted to say, for Citadel, it's also a sense of responsibility that we have, as the Pathfinder group. So we take this forward as a sense of responsibility to the community. But also, I mean, at the end of the day, we are a private enterprise. So, it's not a completely altruistic enterprise. We are identifying leaders for ourselves as well. So the idea is to identify people who come and work for ourselves. So that is a goal as well. But thank you, everybody. And we'll declare a break for now.
So, congratulations. First step, Citadel. We wish you all the success in the world, and we need more partners. Thank you. Yes, and we are coming back for the next event, which is the series on interfaith harmony. But let's have a quick cup of tea before that.